Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I welcome you in this video. And this video is based on paper 1 comprehension question 2. That is of 9 marks and it is called use of language question. For paper 1 we know that it is section A of comprehension and it is titled comprehension and usage of language. It is for 25 marks. We are given here a 1900 words narrative text which is called text A and it is from 21st century literature. Now when we talk about this question use of language, which is question 2 and it has 9 marks. So here actually we have to analyze the author's language choice. We have to read between the lines and we have to see that what is the impact of the text of different words used or different phrases used on the text overall effect. So you have to actually uncover the writer's craft of influencing readers through short answer questions. So it's mean that you have to go deep into the question. This is the assessment objective tested, which is R4 you can see, and R4 actually demonstrate the understanding of how writer achieve effect and influence reader. So this you can see. Now if we just look at first question 2A part, we here see that the questions are named 2A, B, C, but we see that a line has been given. He felt gravity go to zero. The world stopped. Mo watched the branch of the large redwood approach in slow motion and saw his fingers extend downward to it. It is line number 45. Here is this line you can see. Now based on this line we have to tell what does the writer want to suggest to us about the situation at this point in the story. I mean, what is writer trying to tell us in this story? Now you see that apparently we don't find any reasonable answer, but when we go in deep and read it in detail, definitely we ponder a bit, we can just see the meanings in between the line. You remember that this is a comprehension nameless, which has been sent in the sample paper and everybody has seen it. So I did not include it in order not to make my video a little longer. So okay, let's have a look on the answer. Here the writer wants to suggest about the situation at this point in the story that the situation is really critical. It is tense moment. Anything could happen. A dramatic movement. This is the time when the writer is trying to reach nameless by climbing a neighbor tree. So the writer is trying to risk his life. If there is some potential for danger because the writer has decided, the main character has decided to jump from a neighbor tree to nameless, and definitely if there isn't any gravity he will not fall. So he thinks that gravity should go zero. You know that due to the gravity everything which drops it comes to earth. So here main character felt that gravity should go to zero so that he doesn't fall on the ground and the world stopped watching. Now the next question B part is that explain why the writer uses the word stronger than strong in the expression a stronger branch. Now this is in line number 49 we can see. Now look at this. There was a jerk and he found himself hanging from the branch by both hands, bouncing with his feet, kicking the air, swinging hard hand over hand. He got himself over to the trunk and climbed the next 3 precarious meters onto a stronger branches. So it is when he is trying to jump and he is on the other branch, but he finds that the branch on which he has jumped to is even not really strong. Okay, so he can feel the flexibility in the branch and he can like realize that the branch is not strong one to bear his weight. So let's see that It shows that Mo is still not safe after landing. Branch he landed on was weak and likely to break. Suggests that one of the branch are safe or strong, all are the potential to break. So any suitable answer here will be taken as a correct answer. Now look at this. What two impressions does the writer want to convey to the reader in the sentence? There was foliage everywhere, above, below, and on all sides, layer upon layers of leaves, like tents within tents. Very beautiful imagery has been used here by writer. Here the word foliage caused little problem to student. They could not understand. I must tell you that foliage is actually, you know, the upper part of the tree where there are a lot of branches, and you know there are a lot of leaves, so that is called foliage. So we have to tell that what two impressions writer is trying to tell, and we have to see line number 51 to 54. Here is the line. So there was foliage everywhere, above, below, and on all sides, layer upon layer of leaves, like tents within tents. So the tree hadn't looked so big from the ground. So we can see that it is about the denseness of the tree above. It is about the the mass of branches above. This is the foliage you can see. And now let's look at the answer for this part. So it's totally surrounded by leaves and greenery, being in the middle of the leaf. Now the writer is in the above part of the tree, nameless, like almost if I say here or somewhere here. So every side he can see the branches, the leaves, and all these things. The thickness of leaves, sense of protection, shelter, difficult to get through the layers of leaves. Each time you break out of one space, you are in another. You see the word layer upon layers. It shows that the branches are really thick in mass, and you are moving from one layer to another. Then there the word tent is used, which shows the shelter, the protection. So here we have to see that what effect does the writer suggest about the trees by using the word labyrinth to be described. I'm sure that if you know the word labyrinth, you can easily understand the meaning of it. I must tell you one thing, that whatever words are used, they are for some reason. Okay, writers are really crafty people, skilled people, so they use word for some purpose. We have just discussed this thing, that the foliage was quite thick, and labyrinth is a word which is similar to maze. I'm sure that we all know a maze. Maze is a thing which is quite dense, something where you may lose your track and you are unable to come out. So here it means that it shows about the complexity, the elaborate structure of the tree. It shows the disorienting design, maze-like, confusing, heroic classic quest, that moving inside the nameless, going in different direction in the foliage, was some heroic classic quest. It was like trap or threat within another world. So it was quite confusing. It was hard to find your way through, or it was something easy to get lost. I mean, any sense which you can derive from this word maze or labyrinth can go correct. Now, here, this is one very important question. Here you have to identify one example from the text below of how the writer uses language effectively. I must tell you that one thing you must know, that you have to choose example from this. So you can choose any line which you think that you can explain better. Whatever line you choose, you are going to write that line here, and then you're going to explain it. This is quite simple, but I have seen that students get confused in doing this question, so they shouldn't be confused at all. They have to just look at this. There can be some simile, there can be some metaphor, there can be some personification, there can be something very simple like alliteration. Okay, there can be some imagery. So anything can be there which you can describe. There are a lot of examples in this, I must tell you. and you can pick any one example to explain it. So don't panic in this part of the question. Read it thoroughly and ponder on every line so that you can see that which of the line you can explain. Now, for example, see, this is one part: as if he was passing through a membrane. So you can explain that moving through a barrier, breaking a cell wall, reminiscent of birth or hatching. Okay, then entering another world. If you choose this part, so you may say that discovering a new planet, coming out into a different medium, space exploration. You see that you may even just pick up a phrase, okay, a group of words to explain. Like there can be like senseless, senses were overwhelmed, so incapable of processing all the different sensation, bombarded and defenseless, as if blurred or drowned, which mean you could pick flaky gray, green and brownish plants. So in this murky color of unidentified vegetation that breaks away easily, making identification difficult. Drippy, frizzy, stringy and hairy. So this can be explained that thin but prolific, trailing and curling in all direction. So you see that like lace work of branches, even this you can take crisscross work. Even this one word can be taken like cloud, it's mean radiating light. So you see that there are a lot of example which can be taken, and here you can easily get 3 marks. So you have to show a clear understanding of how writer achieve this intended craft. You have to see that the relevant example precisely, then some understanding of how writer achieve. So you see that this is how you have to come up with this. I hope that you have understood how to do this part of the paper for 9 marks. I again advise you that don't panic in your paper, be patient and read things, try to read things between lines so that you can understand. Thank you very much. Stay blessed. Allah.